After 10 years of service, Billionaire follows his maid. What he discovered will change everything. Thomas Hargrove sat in his opulent mansion, the hum of his tech empire buzzing in the background. From the outside, he was the envy of everyone, a billionaire with a glamorous lifestyle. But there was an unsettling void within him that no amount of wealth could fill. The world outside his marble-clad walls seemed so distant, almost two-dimensional. In the shadows of his indulgent existence, he often overlooked the lifeblood of his home, Maria, his devoted maid. For a decade she meticulously polished every square inch of his life, yet he barely knew her. One Thursday morning, Maria hurriedly packed her things. "I'm sorry, Mr. Hargrove, I need to leave for a family emergency," she said, a hint of worry in her eyes. Without a second thought, she was gone. Guilt pooled in Thomas's stomach as he realized he had never cared to ask about her life or struggles. The emptiness he felt deepened. Something compelled him to follow her, to discover what lay beyond his sparkling suburb. As he stepped into the bustling streets, a world torn apart by hardship unspooled before him. The homes were simple, with peeling paint and weary facades. He could feel the pulse of life. The laughter of children echoed against the backdrop of concerns buried in adult conversations. "What have I missed?" he wondered, as Maria's absence felt like an open wound. He soon found Maria's house, tucked away in a cramped neighborhood. Small yet lively, vibrant colors adorned the walls, stretching toward the sky. As he entered, he was met with a warmth that his mansion could never replicate. Maria's family gathered around the threadbare table, sharing stories and laughter amidst the scent of homemade tamales. It felt both chaotic and beautiful. Thomas's heart pounded. This was real life, gritty and raw. Maria greeted him with disbelief. "Mr. Hargrove, what are you doing here?" Her family looked up, surprise mingled with curiosity. "I wanted to meet you and see where you live," he stammered, feeling naked in this honest exchange. Over dinner, vulnerabilities spilled like warmth from the stove. A tale of struggle unfolded. Her husband lost his job, bills piled up like mountain ranges, yet here they were finding joy and togetherness. At that moment, he felt utterly small. His wealth seemed superficial compared to their resilience. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." As the night wore on, Thomas learned about their hopes, dreams, and the quiet strength forged in adversity. Maria's son shared his ambition to become an engineer, while her daughter whispered tales of wanting to be a doctor. Their dreams sparked something powerful in Thomas, a resolve to challenge everything he believed about success. Yet, as he began to bridge this widening gap, a sudden revelation lay hidden in the corners of their intertwined histories. Thomas remembered his own childhood struggles and how fortunes shifted. It seemed today was more than just a revelation, it hinted at a connection that could alter their fates forever. Would he dare to change? To confront the societal walls he had risen above? This whirlwind of emotions felt overwhelmingly electric, surfacing a question: could he finally uncover the link between privilege and responsibility? The stakes were climbing, and Thomas stood at the edge of a decision that could define who he would become. Would he embrace this new reality, or allow fear to chain him to the comfort of ignorance? The journey had just begun. Thomas felt the warmth of the family's laughter fill the small room, but anxiety gnawed at him. He had ventured into the heart of a life so different from his own, a life where each moment was carved from necessity and love rather than luxury. As he looked around, he realized this was where life happened, not in boardrooms or marketing pitches, but in shared meals and dreams whispered over flickering candles. Maria's mother approached him, squeezing his arm gently. "Thank you for coming, Mr. Hargrove. It's nice to see Maria's world." She gave a sincere smile that was both welcoming and challenging, as if she could see through his tailored suit to the uncertainty hiding underneath. "Please call me Thomas," he replied, trying to shed the formality that felt suffocating here. Suddenly, the taste of tamales turned bitter in his mouth, the realization of the disparities between them overwhelming. This family, bound by struggle and love, had something he had long forfeited in his climb to the top. Why hadn't he seen this before? Standing among them, he felt his accomplishments lose their luster. How could he make a difference? "What's your plan, Mr. Hargrove?" Maria's son, Carlos, asked, his innocent eyes wide with curiosity. The question struck him like a jolt. Did he even have a plan now? After all these years of counting his wealth and status, did it mean anything? "I want to help," he answered, though the words felt weak and empty in the air. Aware of the expectations rising in the room, he pushed his fears aside. "I want to find a way to support your dreams." Maria's gaze pierced through him, a mixture of surprise and skepticism written across her face. "Thomas, it's not that simple," she began, but he interrupted, driven by an urgency he could no longer contain. "Why not? If wealth means I have resources, then I should use them to uplift, to change lives," he declared, feeling a spark ignite deep within him. Maria's family exchanged glances, and in that moment, everything shifted. Her daughter, soft-spoken yet unwavering, whispered, "You really mean that?" "Yes," he replied, softer now. "I want to make a difference with what I have." However, the air thickened with a silence that felt almost suffocating. It hit him hard. Was he truly ready? Would they even accept his help? Their lives were tangled in a web of complexities he only began to understand. Doubts flitted through his mind like shadows, but with every heartbeat, a newfound determination emerged. "Maybe I could offer internships," he suggested, recalling the way he had clawed his way up the corporate ladder. "Or mentorship for Carlos and your daughter, whatever you think would help." As he spoke, Maria's hand tightened on the table, and a glimmer of hope flickered in her gaze. "It's what they need. But you must understand, it's more than just a charity. They need true support." In that moment, Thomas knew he was standing at a precipice. From this point onward, he no longer just had a duty to himself. Could he match their earnestness with commitment? He was stepping beyond his gilded bubble, and it felt terrifying yet exhilarating. "I'm ready," he vowed, looking each of them in the eyes. "I will do more than offer help. I want to partner with you all in this journey." Yet, even as a smile broke on Maria's lips, the harsh reality loomed. He could feel the weight of expectations upon him. Would he falter when faced with the true struggles ahead? Could he bear the burden of falling short? That night, as he prepared to leave, the faces of Maria's family lined his thoughts. Their hopes intertwined with his, drawing him into a new world, a world tinged with possibility yet fraught with challenges. Little did he know, the path he was about to tread would test him in ways he never anticipated. Just as he stepped into the night air, a troubling thought gripped him. What if I fail them? The question lingered, and for the first time, the glittering lights of his mansion felt more like a prison than a refuge. And so, stepping out into the cool air, the uncertainty of his new mission loomed over him. Would this decision lead to a genuine transformation, or would the weight of his past crush whatever hopes had begun to bloom that evening? The next morning, Thomas woke up to the sound of silence in his vast, empty mansion. The light streamed through the tall windows, illuminating dust particles dancing in the air. He rubbed his face, still feeling the echo of the previous night's conversations. The warmth of laughter and the taste of home-cooked tamales hung in his mind like a soft, lingering melody. He had promised to be there for Maria's family, to turn his wealth and resources into something meaningful. But how could he fulfill that vow? Thoughts swirled in his head, painting a picture of confusion and doubt. His phone vibrated against the cool surface of the nightstand. A reminder to attend a high-profile meeting filled his mind again with constraints and corporate jargon worlds away from the struggles he had just witnessed. He dressed quickly, opting for a casual shirt and jeans. Today, he needed to feel grounded. There was no immediate rush to head into the office. Instead, he grabbed his car keys and set off toward Maria's neighborhood. The route felt different now. Every street sign felt like a silent challenge, urging him forward. As he drove, he replayed his plan in his head. There was a community center not far from where Maria lived. A safe haven for many, filled with people striving for a better life. He remembered children playing basketball in the outdoor court, laughter hanging in the air like forgotten dreams waiting to be realized. He parked, stepping out into the heat of the day, the asphalt radiating warmth beneath his feet. The center was buzzing with life when he arrived. Children ran freely, while adults gathered in discussions. For a moment, he hesitated at the entrance. Did he truly belong here? But the thought of Carlos and Maria's daughter tugged at his heart, pulling him into that space. He approached the front desk, where a woman with kind eyes smiled at him. "Can I help you?" "I want to make a difference here," he said, his voice steadying. "I'd like to offer my resources, mentorship, workshops, whatever you think you need." Her eyebrows rose in surprise, but quickly settled into an encouraging nod. "That's very generous, Mr. Hargrove. We could always use volunteers. We want kids to see possibilities, to dream big." He grinned, feeling the flicker of hope ignite within him. It was a small step, but being here felt right. It felt like the beginning of something. The months passed swiftly. Thomas threw himself into his newfound mission. He organized workshops, guided kids like Carlos through school applications, and helped set up internships for them to explore their interests. Each session brought laughter, challenges, and stories that drew them closer. But as he immersed himself in their world, the weight of his past life began to loom heavier. Friends from his corporate days questioned his new path, some even mocked him for associating with the less fortunate. Their words stung, but every time he saw the glimmer of ambition in the children's eyes, he found strength to ignore those comments. One evening, while reminiscing with the kids over pizza, Carlos looked up at him. "I wish my dad was here to see how much you help us." The words hit Thomas like a sledgehammer. His heart ached at the thought of missed connections, of broken families. That moment deepened his commitment, igniting a resolve he hadn't expected. He had never considered that the true challenge would be facing his own shortcomings while striving to lift others. What if he wasn't enough for them? Just as the evening wrapped up, Maria arrived to pick up her children, a soft smile lighting up her face when she saw the joy in their eyes. It was a small, defining moment, but it filled Thomas with a sense of belonging he hadn't experienced in years. Yet, just as he thought he might finally be finding his place, a dark cloud began to shadow him. Whispers of his corporate life crept closer once again. Powerful figures were starting to take notice of his absence from the high-stakes boardroom. Their calls for him were growing louder. "Thomas, don't forget who you are," one of them warned during a chance encounter. "You have a reputation to uphold." As if awakening from a dream, he realized the trouble looming ahead. Could he really keep the path he had chosen despite the pressure surrounding him? As doubts twisted within, a familiar question returned. Would he be able to honor his promise to Maria and her family amidst the chaos of his old life? Determined, Thomas set his jaw. He couldn't return to who he was before. But could he manage to bridge both worlds without losing himself? The urge to act to create something lasting pulsed in his veins. And just as that thought solidified, a stranger approached him with an unexpected proposition that could change everything once again. Thomas squinted in the low light of the community center, trying to catch his breath after the surprise that had come in the form of an outstretched hand from a stranger. The man looked familiar, dressed in a crisp suit that felt out of place amidst the casual atmosphere of the center. Thomas felt his heart race. "Mr. Hargrove?" the man asked, a voice smooth but heavy with urgency. "I'm Nathaniel Simmons, from Simmons Investment Group. We've been watching your efforts here. I think we can do something significant together." The words hung in the air like a shimmering promise. Thomas's mind raced. This was the kind of opportunity he had secretly longed for, a chance to expand his reach and help more kids, to change lives at scale. But it didn't take long for the shadow of unease to settle in. Could he trust this stranger? "What exactly do you mean?" Thomas forced words out, keeping his voice steady. Nathaniel leaned closer, his eyes sharp and probing. "We're looking for someone who shares our vision, somebody grounded yet ambitious. You have the contacts and the passion. We can secure funding, engage mentors, and expand your programs. Imagine what you could do. He painted a picture of flourishing community spaces full of art, innovation, and hope. Thomas could see it, the kids laughing, learning, dreaming. Yet that dream felt tainted by the doubt rattling inside him. Was this a way to escape his corporate past or merely a new way of being controlled by it? I appreciate the offer, but I've made promises. Thomas hesitated, images of Maria and Carlos flickering in his mind, their smiles a stark contrast to the sterile boardroom he had left behind. I need to focus on my work here. Nathaniel didn't back down. This isn't just business. This is about legacy. You can make a difference. His eyes glistened with determination. We can rally resources that benefit these communities. Your name can inspire change. The words rolled around in Thomas's mind like a storm. He was torn. What's in it for you? He asked cautiously, feeling a tightness in his chest. Nathaniel flashed a knowing smile. A stronger community. A platform that can generate returns. We're investing for the future. Yours, there's everyone's. Time seemed to stretch as Thomas mulled over the proposition, ticking seconds weighing heavily on his conscience. He thought of the kids, the laughter that echoed in the halls, the raw potential he had witnessed time and again. Yet each moment he spent entertaining this idea felt a little like betrayal. What about the corporate politics? He questioned, feeling a flicker of resistance rise in him. What if I lose my direction again? Nobody has to give up their values to succeed. You can pave the way. Nathaniel stepped back, allowing space as if to give Thomas room to breathe, to think. You just need to decide if you're ready. Thomas's heart echoed with uncertainty. He had found a cause worth fighting for, something that felt deeply tied to who he truly was. But what if Nathaniel's proposal held the key to something greater? Days turned into weeks, and though the community center thrived with Thomas's efforts, the whispers of the corporate world refused to fade. Old friends tried to lure him back into the fold. Use what you have to help, not to change yourself, they said. As he sat in his car one evening, watching children play and share in their innocence, it suddenly struck him his path wasn't just a choice, it was a commitment. A promise he felt he had made to himself. Just then, a loud knock on his window startled him. It was a familiar face, Carlos, beaming with excitement. Thomas! You've got to see! We won the tournament! Come on! The joy on Carlos's face was a vivid reminder of why Thomas had taken this leap. As he stepped out and engaged with the jubilant kids, a warmth spread through him. But in the back of his mind, Nathaniel's words echoed, begging him to consider. Just as the noise of laughter enveloped him, he faced a choice that would impact everything he had worked so hard to build. Could he truly pursue a larger vision? Without losing sight of the bonds he had forged here? And at what cost? His thoughts spiraled once more, the question still lingering. Would he trust this new path or hold on to the intimacy he had found among the children? Just as he turned to celebrate with Carlos and the kids, his phone buzzed again, a notification from Nathaniel. Let's discuss your future. Thomas stood at a crossroads. What awaited him was uncertain, but the choices he faced could change everything. The tournament celebration erupted into a whirlwind of cheers and laughter. Kids danced around, their faces glowing with victory. Thomas felt a sense of comfort wash over him as he joined in the excitement, giving high fives and congratulating each child. For brief moments, he forgot the weight of Nathaniel's offer. The joy radiating from Carlos was infectious. You believed in us, Thomas. Maria chimed in, pulling him into a hug. This is just the beginning. You've made this possible. As their laughter echoed around the gym, Thomas's heart swelled with pride. This was more than a game. It was a testament to what they could achieve together. But just beneath the surface, doubt bubbled. Nathaniel's proposal lingered in his mind like an unfinished puzzle, pieces yet to find their place. Can you believe it? We finally did it! Carlos exclaimed, his voice a musical blend of exuberance and disbelief. We get to go to the regional finals. The idea swirled in Thomas's head, the regional finals. He considered how the additional funding, the kind Nathaniel could provide, could amplify this success. But at what cost? There was always a cost. With the celebration fading into smiles and chatter, Thomas's phone buzzed again. A message from Nathaniel flashed, "Let us meet tomorrow. I'll show you how we can change lives." "Thomas?" Carlos's voice pulled him back. "Are you okay? You seem distracted." "Yeah, just thinking," Thomas replied, forcing a smile. "Proud of you all." As Carlos ran off to rejoin his friends, Thomas stepped outside, leaning against the cool brick wall of the community center, harmonizing with the fading melodies of laughter. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over everything, yet an unsettling chill crept along his spine. The balance of opportunity and obligation weighed heavily. In that moment, a father approached him, expression mixed with gratitude and concern. "Thomas, I just wanted to say thank you. The center has changed so much. My son, he has changed. You're doing incredible work." The man's words struck a chord deep within. Thomas remembered why he left the corporate world behind, the need to be grounded in a community, to create lasting bonds. Yet he couldn't shake the thought of reaching more lives. What if Nathaniel could open doors that had always remained shut? "Do you think it's possible," Thomas asked, seeking solace in the man's perspective, "to grow without losing what we've built here?" The father paused, considering the question carefully. "If you stay true to who you are, then yes. But don't let others drown out your vision." With that, the father turned to leave, and though the reminder spurred hope, it amplified his uncertainty as well. Should he step into the unknown future or keep his feet firmly planted in the warmth of the community? That night, sleep evaded him. Images of Carlos, Maria, and the vibrant kids spun in his mind as he stared at the ceiling. The thought of shifting back to a corporate world sent shivers down his spine. But what if he could gain something that would enhance what they were already doing? As dawn approached, a decision crystallized in his mind. He would meet with Nathaniel, not to jump in blindly, but to explore options. If it could amplify the good they were doing, maybe it was worth considering. With newfound determination, Thomas took out a notebook and scribbled a list of questions, boundaries he needed to set, values he wouldn't compromise. He owed it to the kids to at least hear Nathaniel out. However, as he prepared for the meeting, the familiar sense of urgency gripped him. Just before heading out, his phone buzzed again, a video message from Carlos. "Hey Thomas! We're all waiting for you. We're going to take a group picture, and you need to be in it. We're a team. Don't forget that." The invitation felt like a tether pulling him back to where his heart truly belonged. Thomas took a deep breath, outputting all the anxiety that wrapped around his thoughts. He put the notebook down, deciding to focus on the kids for a moment longer. They needed him. He needed them. But deep inside, a small voice urged him forward. What if this decision to meet Nathaniel changed everything and everyone he cared for? As he stepped out, ready to embrace whatever came next, he felt a shift inside him, an echo of hope, but layered with apprehension. The future was uncertain, but one truth remained clearer than ever. It was time for a leap of faith. And as soon as he got to the center, he would find out how high a leap it would truly be. What awaited him in the corporate shadows? The sun had barely risen, casting a soft light through the dusty windows of the community center when Thomas arrived. The familiar buzz of excitement filled the air as kids dashed around, reflecting the vibrant energy of the night before. Each laugh, each squeal of delight wrapped around him like a warm embrace, reminding him of the reason he was here. "Thomas! Over here!" Carlos waved frantically, a huge grin plastered across his face. He stood with Maria and a couple of younger kids, all of them ready to strike a pose for the picture. Thomas felt warmth spread through him, his heart swelling as once again he recognized the strength of this community. "Say victory!" Maria shouted as the kids crowded around him. He positioned himself in the middle, heart so full it felt like it could burst. Just as the camera clicked, Thomas caught Carlos's eye. There was an electric current of eagerness in the boy's gaze, a silent question that echoed within him. "Would your decision make us stronger?" As the photo session wrapped, Thomas felt a fleeting moment of clarity break through the chaos. The invitation to meet Nathaniel weighed heavily, but in the energy surrounding him now, there was a part of him that knew what his priority was: these kids, their potential, and their future. Moments later, laughter faded into a quieter moment as older kids met in small groups, while younger ones canvassed the area for games. Thomas decided to linger a little longer. It felt only right to share in their joy before stepping into the unknown. "Hey, Thomas!" A small voice broke through his wandering thoughts. It was Lily, a girl of maybe 7, with a ponytail that bounced with every step. "Can you help me with my jump shot?" "Of course," he replied, surprised at the swift transition. As they stepped to the court, he couldn't help but feel its familiar call, a cherished history intertwined with his own journey. Teaching her the mechanics of shooting felt reminiscent of a time when he found beauty in the little wins. Just like this, he demonstrated, nostalgia washing over him as he felt the sun warm his back. The way her face lit up when she made her first basket was pure magic. Moments like these reminded him why he had poured his soul into this community. Yet elsewhere, beneath that surface merriment, doubts loomed larger than ever as he impulsively glanced at his phone. Nathaniel's message still lingered, a reminder of corporate promise tempting him away from this sanctuary of hope. "Everything okay, Thomas?" Maria asked, appearing at his side, her inquisitive eyes scanning his face. "Yeah, just thinking," he mumbled, unsure of how to share the internal conflict swarming within him. She frowned slightly, sensing something deeper. "You know, if it ever gets too much, we're here for you," she said softly. It was such a simple statement, yet it dug into Thomas's heart. "I know. Just a lot on my plate," he responded, trying to smile but failing to bury the weight he carried. Clock hands moved slowly, yet every second felt heightened. As he prepared to leave, his heart sank at the thought of abandoning them for the allure of a promise that felt foreign. Could he hold on to this new world he had built while risking it for something that might just vanish? With each step to the exit, the burdens pressed heavier against his chest. It was then he noticed Carlos, grape soda in hand, staring at him with a look of raw anticipation. "You coming back later, right?" "We're not done yet." "Yeah, of course," Thomas replied, though uncertainty flickered like a flame in the back of his mind. What if Nathaniel is right? The thought played again. What if this meeting was the key to unlocking even greater possibilities for these kids? But at what risk? As he drove toward the looming office building of Nathaniel's company, his palms tightened around the steering wheel. Doubt mingled with hope as he faced the intersection of his past and future. With each passing moment, he reminded himself of all he had built here. The laughter, the connection, could it truly coexist with Nathaniel's vision? And then it hit him. What if in the pursuit of success he might lose his way home? As he pulled into the parking lot, anxiety surged through him like a raw need for reassurance. He sat for a moment, taking deep breaths before stepping out of the car. Was he ready for the answers that awaited him inside? The door stood before him like a portal to a new reality, but would he be stepping forward or retreating? Thomas hesitated as he approached, and with every heartbeat, the question echoed in his mind: what if this meeting changes everything forever? The lobby of the building was stark and imposing. Smooth marble floors stretched out beneath bright lights, reflecting the polished silver accents that adorned the lavish interior. Thomas felt out of place among the sleek decor, every corner whispering promises of success and wealth. His heart raced as he walked towards the elevators, each step a tug-of-war between what he wanted for himself and what he believed was best for the kids back at the center. He took a deep breath and pressed the button for the top floor. The ride felt endless, the soft hum of the elevator only amplifying the chaos in his mind. 100 scenarios played out in his imagination: what Nathaniel might pitch, how he might persuade Thomas to leave everything he cared about behind. The thought made his stomach twist. Could he really sacrifice the community that had become his family? As the doors slid open with a quiet swoosh, Thomas steeled himself, stepping into a world that felt entirely different. The office was a vast, open space, hung with stunning artwork and filled with bustling employees who moved with purpose. No one seemed to notice him at first, which gave him a moment to orient himself, and take in his surroundings. "Thomas! Glad you made it." Nathaniel's voice broke through the gentle murmur of office chatter. He strode towards him with confidence, his suit sharp and polished just like the environment around them. "I have some exciting ideas to discuss with you." Thomas offered a cautious smile in return, his nerves bubbling just beneath the surface. "Right. Thanks for having me," he said, trying to maintain his composure as he followed Nathaniel to a glass meeting room that overlooked the city. Once settled, Nathaniel wasted no time. "I've seen the impact you're making at the community center," he began, his voice smooth like silk. "But imagine what we could achieve together if you had more resources. Expansion, funding for more activities, perhaps even scholarships." The flood of words rushed over Thomas, and for a split second, temptation danced with desire. He could picture the kids with new sports gear, visiting larger venues, going on field trips. But then a familiar weight settled back onto his shoulders, the thought of abandoning what they had built together. Those were just dreams on paper until they became a reality. And would it really be worth it? "I appreciate that," he replied carefully, "but what would that require from me? I have commitments to my community." Nathaniel leaned in, the glint in his eye a mix of determination and enthusiasm. "Your passion is what could drive real change. If you partnered with us, we could create programs that empower youth across the country. This isn't just business, Thomas. This is a chance to make a monumental difference." As Nathaniel spoke, Thomas's heart raced. The voices from the community center echoed in his mind, the laughter, the hopeful pleas for guidance. Could he really intertwine those two worlds? Suddenly, the weight of each decision pressed in on him. Nathaniel was offering a lifeline, sure, but at what cost? And as his thoughts spiraled, insecurity crept in. Was he capable of managing both? Was he strong enough to bring the changes that would benefit an entire generation? "Just think about it," Nathaniel urged, sensing Thomas's hesitance. Thomas hesitated, caught between the allure of opportunity and the clarity of his purpose. Before he could respond, his phone buzzed, a message lighting up the screen, a group photo from the center, kids smiling wide, carefree and full of life. It anchored him for a moment, grounding him in what truly mattered. "What if I can have both?" The idea whispered in his mind, a glimmer of hope. His heart hammered as the tension built, and the stakes couldn't have felt higher. What if he didn't have to choose a side? What if a partnership could enhance their community instead of overshadow it? As he looked at Nathaniel, the question burned brightly: is it possible to bridge these worlds, or will I end up losing my way? With determination surging within him, Thomas knew that he couldn't walk away from this meeting without clarity. But the answer awaited him, like a treasure hidden in plain sight, just beyond the horizon. Would he uncover the truth he was desperately searching for before it was too late? Thomas felt the weight of Nathaniel's gaze, a mixture of hope and pressure hanging in the air. He could sense the possibilities swirling around them, like a storm brewing just beyond the horizon. His heart thudded against his chest as he deliberated, his fingers tightening around the phone. "Let me put it this way," Nathaniel began, pulling a sleek tablet from his bag. "Say we collaborate. I'm talking about funding that doubles what you have right now. Facilities, staff, everything you need to bring your vision to life." Thomas glanced at the tablet, displaying vibrant images of children playing sports, learning in classrooms full of sunshine, and laughing together. The images tugged at his heart. But just as quickly, doubt wrapped around his mind. Would those smiles come at the price of his community's independence? "What's the catch?" he asked, eyes narrowing. "No catch," Nathaniel replied, his voice steady. "Just a partnership. We have the resources, you have the passion. Together, we can change lives." "Change lives or your bottom line?" Thomas retorted, not fully convinced. He leaned back, crossing his arms. Nathaniel sighed, a flicker of frustration in his demeanor. "It's not about profits, Thomas. It's about legacy. You want to spread what you've built at the center, right? I want to help you do that on a larger scale. You can't deny these kids deserve the best." Every word Nate said cut deep. Thomas envisioned the kids at the center, faces alight with joy and aspiration. The thought of giving them more ignited a flame of hope, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he was standing on the edge of a cliff, peering into a dark void. What if I fail? Thomas whispered, more to himself than to Nathaniel. Failures are stepping stones, my friend, Nathaniel replied, leaning forward, his expression earnest. You've already succeeded in your own way. Think of what you could accomplish if you combined that success with the right support. Don't let fear dictate your choices. Thomas's breath caught in his throat. The possibilities before him were intoxicating, yet terrifying. So, I just jump in? Not quite. Nathaniel smiled softly as if understanding the desperation behind the fear. You can take your time. Test the waters. But if you decide to go for it, I promise, you won't be alone. The words hung in the air, almost vibrating with potential. He wanted to believe, to trust that this was the right step forward. But the thought of leaving his kids behind, even for a moment, felt like betrayal. They were counting on him. He had fought for them through thick and thin. Just then, his phone buzzed again, another message, this time from Maria, one of the older kids at the center. We're waiting for you, Mr. T. Game day is almost here. Can't wait to see you. The joy radiating from the screen made his heart swell. Everything okay? Nathaniel asked, perhaps sensing the change in his demeanor. They are my everything, Thomas replied, both awe and anxiety flooding his voice. They're the reason why I can't simply walk away. And they could be the reason you step forward, Nathaniel countered gently. Imagine when they look up to you as someone who inspired change beyond their wildest dreams. You could redefine their futures. The intensity of the moment struck him. The dream might not be as far-fetched as he had previously thought. But doubt lingered. Before I say yes, what do you think they would really want? More sports? More activities? What they really want is someone who believes in them and pushes for change, Nathaniel replied. There's an opportunity here to become that person on a much larger scale. It was a push he hadn't anticipated. Thomas pictured his kids each with unique dreams, laughter echoing like a melody in his ears. Maybe Nathaniel was right. But couldn't he manage this without sacrificing his roots? Let me think about it, Thomas finally said, taking a deep breath. Take all the time you need, Nathaniel said, a hint of relief washing over him. As they parted ways, Thomas walked out feeling both the burden of expectation and the flicker of hope. The city stretched beyond him, welcoming and daunting all at once. The reality settled in slowly. He was standing at a crossroads. But before he stepped into the elevator, he turned back and glanced at Nathaniel, who stood there, waiting. Would this decision open doors for a better future, or would it lead him down a path he couldn't return from? The uncertainty sat heavy on his mind as the elevator doors slid shut, leaving him in an enclosure filled with possibilities. What if the next move could change everything? What does change really look like when so much is at stake? Would he find the courage to step into a new reality, or would the fear hold him back once again? Thomas walked into the warmth of the center, where the familiar sounds of laughter and joy filled the air. It was game day, and the kids buzzed with excitement. He could feel the energy washing over him like a wave. Their endless optimism reminded him of why he had devoted his life to them. Mr. T. You're here! Maria shouted, running up to him with a grin that seemed to light up the room. Her joy was infectious, and for a moment, the worries slipped away as he scooped her up into a playful hug. I wouldn't miss it for the world, kiddo, he replied, ruffling her hair. As the kids rallied around him, Thomas's mind drifted briefly. The conversation with Nathaniel replayed in his head, pushing against the warmth of the moment. Could partnering with someone like him really yield more opportunities? Would the kids benefit, or was it just another business deal? Mr. T, come see what we did with the uniforms, called out Jason, another eager 10-year-old. Thomas followed him over to a makeshift table. The team's jerseys were vivid blue with gold letters spelling Team Spirit. The sight made his heart swell. They had pulled together their small allowances and even some grass-stained hand-me-downs for this moment. This is awesome. You all did this? He marveled. Yep. We're ready to win. Jason beamed, fists pumping in the air. Deep down, Thomas knew this was more than a game, it was about dreaming big. The kids were living proof that dreams could be forged from hard work and teamwork. Yet, he couldn't shake the nagging feeling that they were standing at the edge of something much larger. Before he could lose himself in thought, the game kicked off, and Thomas was swept up in a sea of cheers and shouts. Time flew by, and as the game played out, he couldn't help but notice how the community had come together. Parents, friends, and neighbors filled the stands, supporting their kids. It was magical. But as dusk approached and the sun dipped low in the sky, the victory cheers faded into a quieter moment. The game was over, team spirit had won, and the kids clustered around Thomas, their faces flushed with joy. We did it! We really did it, Mr. T! They shouted, their excitement bubbling over. I knew you could. You all gave it your all, he said, proudly clapping them on the back. He felt a sense of fulfillment that was rare in his life, like a gentle hug from a friend reminding him of his purpose. Just when he thought he could relax, his phone buzzed. A text from Nathaniel appeared on the screen. Have you made a decision yet? The offer stands. The mention of the proposal made his stomach twist. So many thoughts rushed through him. What if he let them down by not acting, by not risking? But could he risk losing the community spirit that this moment embodied? Mr. T? Maria's small voice broke through his thoughts. Are you okay? He took a deep breath, kneeling down to their level. You know what? I am. You kids remind me what this is all about, believing in ourselves. I might have a big decision to make, and I want to make it right for all of you. Whatever you decide, we'll be with you, Maria said, her sincerity shining bright. The warmth of her words filled Thomas's heart with hope. Maybe he didn't need to choose between his roots and the future. Maybe, with the right strategy and a bit of courage, he could do both. As the evening air filled with laughter and celebration, Thomas felt possibilities swirling again. Maybe the next decision wouldn't be about leaving one world for another, but building a bridge between them. But then an unsettling thought crept in: what if the cost for that bridge was greater than he could afford? Would he dare to take that leap of faith, or let fear hold him back again? As the stars twinkled above the community center, Thomas felt a mix of exhilaration and apprehension. The cheers of victory still echoed in his ears, but the internal struggle pulsed just beneath the surface. He had reached a pivotal moment, where every choice could ripple through the lives he had grown to care for deeply. Surrounded by the glowing faces of the children, their laughter tethered him to the present. But Nathaniel's text loomed in the back of his mind like a stubborn shadow. He needed a decision, a direction, yet uncertainty clung to him like mist. Mr. T, are we having pizza for dinner? Carlos broke through his reverie, with hope shining bright in his eyes. Yes. Let's celebrate, Thomas exclaimed, the promise of a meal together bringing comfort. The kids squealed with delight as they envisioned stacks of cheesy slices, fueling their moods. As the festivities unfolded, Thomas shifted his focus sharply onto the kids. Each of their stories, filled with dreams and aspirations, resonated deeply within him. Their joy was a reminder of what truly mattered, not just as separate individuals, but as part of a community that had begun to thrive under their shared vision. With laughter dancing through the air, Thomas caught Carlos's eye, studying the boy's eager smile, and it hit him again. Every child in that room needed stability. They needed someone to champion their dreams. And he had already started that journey with their community center, creating warmth and nurture where there had been neglect. Just as pizza arrived, with its warm, greasy aroma wafting through the air, Maria bounded up beside him. Mr. T, do you think we'll win the championship next time? She asked breathlessly, eyes dancing with excitement. Absolutely. If you keep believing in yourselves and working hard, there will be no limits, Thomas replied, ruffling her hair. What does that mean for you? She asked quietly, a tinge of seriousness creeping into her innocence. The question lingered in the air, drawing the attention of nearby kids. Each pair of bright eyes turned toward him, awaiting his response. It means I have to find the best path to support you all, he answered, his voice steady despite the whirlpool of thoughts within. I want to see you all grow, and explore your dreams to their fullest. As they settled into their slices of pizza, conversations bubbled around him, excitement palpable. But deep inside, he mulled over his conversation with Nathaniel. Could joining forces with the investment firm amplify their current success? Could he integrate that immense resource without losing what they had? The laughter mixed with worry settled deep into his gut, creating a tight knot. But in that moment, amidst the joy and camaraderie, a realization struck him. Earlier in the day, he had witnessed how much they could achieve together as a community. The spirit of teamwork flowed through them, and if he connected his vision to something larger, it might ignite even greater possibilities for them all. Hey everyone! Thomas raised his voice over the cheerful chatter. The kids settled down, curiosity sweeping across their eager faces. I want you to know that I'm thinking of ways to reach even more kids and create more opportunities. Excitement erupted again, shouts of encouragement and clapping filled the air, igniting a current of enthusiasm that moved through the room. Does that mean more sports? More coding lessons? Carlos chimed in, his eyes sparkling. Exactly, Thomas affirmed, warmth swelling inside him. But to achieve that, I may need to work with others. Anyone else we can team up with? Blank stares met him momentarily, then Jason, whose determination shone bright, exclaimed, Does that mean we can help? Can we go to other schools and show them what we can do? Yes. That's the spirit, Thomas cheered, feeling a rush of adrenaline flow through him. Under the celebratory glow, optimism bubbled over. Each child contributed ideas, layering a beautiful tapestry of dreams, hopes, and ambitions. They envisioned creating a network, a community-wide event to showcase what they accomplished together. Their voices intertwined with laughter, and Thomas felt the fading weight of his earlier fears dissolve. Every laugh was a reminder of who he was, where he belonged. As the pizza dwindled and the excitement peaked, Thomas knew it wasn't just about him anymore. This was about a collective vision, one that could truly echo beyond the walls of their growing community. With every optimistic proclamation, it grew clearer. The opportunity with Nathaniel didn't have to signal the end of their shared spirit. If he played it right, it could amplify their message. It was time to merge both worlds and inspire a bridge that supported dreams from every side. A new determination surged within him. Let us do this together, he roared, fists pumping the air, galvanizing the children's resolve. They responded with exuberance, voices melting into a chorus of cheers, their enthusiasm lighting a path forward. In that magic moment, surrounded by the joyful chaos of the kids, Thomas realized he was ready. He would embrace the future with Nathaniel, weaving the strands of their community into something powerful and enduring, a team effort to uplift everyone. Just as echoing laughter faded into a meaningful moment of unity and drive, Thomas knew that the journey ahead would be met head-on. And with a smile spreading across his face, fueled by passion and love for the community he had come to cherish, he felt invincible. Tomorrow, I'll call Nathaniel, he resolved quietly, reinstating a sense of purpose. Together, we'll take this to new heights. That night, as he lay in bed, the stars twinkled brightly above, promising a future woven with hope, fueled by the hearts and dreams of children, and anchored by a commitment to stand for what mattered most. And as dawn approached, Thomas felt a surge of excitement. Today wasn't just another ordinary day. It was the first day of something beautifully immense. If you found inspiration in this ending, you need to subscribe now to stay connected. This is the moment to show your support, and ensure you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us keep sharing stories that inspire change and connection. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Join us in this journey of growth and possibility.